Megyn Kelly joins us now. One question for her before anything else. Why has Donald Trump not given any interviews since the FBI turned up?
That's a good question. I don't know the answer other than to think it could be one of two things. One, he could be mad at maybe Fox and doesn't want to irritate, his closest pals there. But he has a lot of other outlets he goes on, like Newsmax and some other conservative channels. Two, he's been given wise legal advice by his lawyers to just be quiet for now because, Paul, Donald Trump is likely to get indicted. It's insane, but the former president of the United States is likely to be indicted at some point in the next few months. I cannot believe I'm saying those words.
Wow.
But it's a good time to be quiet. Merrick Garland really is out to get him, and Merrick Garland has the power to do it. And Merrick Garland doesn't feel shamed or stopped by the obvious political backlash that's going to come his way and his boss's way if and when he does this. So, if I were Trump's lawyer, for sure, I'd be saying, just be quiet, let us approve your little tweets, and other than that, say very little.
Tucker had a great point yesterday when he said, well, hang on, if this is worthy of eventually getting charged and all of the drama and the FBI bashing the doors down, then clearly the documents were so sensitive that it was important. But why did the whole process wait 18 months? If it's that urgent, don't you do it in February of 2020?
Well, of course, you know the answer. It's a lie. It's a lie. It's not about presidential records at all. I said this to you last week. I maintain the position that this is all pretextual. They're really just trying, well, they'd love to get him on any criminal charge, but they went in there on a fishing expedition. And if you take a look at the actual search warrant now, which has been released, it is a net as widely cast as humanly possible. They got everything. They wanted not just presidential records, they wanted every box that in any way related to the Trump administration and all the boxes all around those boxes. It was not even a little bit limited in terms of what the FBI could grab. They're looking for evidence of criminal intent with respect to the January 6th election story. That's what they need to prove, that he knew it was false when he said that he had won and that he nonetheless obstructed justice and interfered with the election process anyway. They're not going to find it. I'd be stunned if Trump was that stupid. I don't believe that he actually disbelieved his story. I think he actually did think that he won, so it's not going to be in there. But even if they're right and he knew it all along, he wouldn't have put it down in writing and shoved it in a box at Mar-a-Lago. So this is a fishing expedition that's not going to get them anywhere. Do they have him on the Presidential Records Act? Sounds like it, maybe, but that's not a criminal statute. That doesn't have criminal penalties. And not to mention, okay, let's say it's classified. He's got classified documents down there. Okay, Hillary Clinton had 30,000 documents, 2,000 of which were classified at least. And then she took a hammer to the hard drive that had all of them on there. Not a raid, not a criminal prosecution. So good luck, because the right half of this country will be in full revolt if you try to arrest Donald Trump over that. Not to mention, don't get me started on Hunter Biden and Joe Biden's brother, Jim.
Oh, correct. Well, but also just it's the many ways that they rub your face in it, right? So Hunter Biden, we all know what the problems are with him, yet he is literally on holidays with the president, flies Air Force One, even has the balls to stand there and wave as if he was sort of a world leader, versus the scenario that obviously is about, as you say, the fishing expedition. And also, why did they take Trump's passport? That obviously suggests that he's a flight risk. But again, what, is there a suggestion he's about to fly off to Guatemala? I'm pretty sure if he wants to run for president in 2024, he's going to stay in the country that he wants to be the president in.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if anybody wants, Trump to stay or go, the Democrats would love to see him on a plane to Guatemala. That's if of all people, you'd think they'd want him to have his passport. Now,
very obviously, when you've got, a fired up left and a fired up right, the only people who end up statistically deciding elections are independents. Now, I've seen some polling that suggests that independents don't like the whole process that's going out against Trump, but are you seeing or hearing from sort of independent friends, independent news sources, that the people who are not invested in the up and down of Trump, but maybe just the vibe, the process, how their reaction to this is, because that will give us an indication of where we go in a few months' time or 2 years' time.
I've been surprised at how many people object to this, at how many independent-minded people see what Merrick Garland is doing and don't think it's fair to Donald Trump. I mean, the thing about Hillary is we lived through that news cycle for weeks and months on end. When the Republicans chant "lock her up," this is what it's about. All of her emails and her refusal to comply with the law, and yet nothing was done to her. The FBI, famously decided not to go after her, and we all know that. So I think there's some empathy for the guy. He's not exactly, ginger in the way he approaches messaging, and I think there may be some weariness towards that. But given him versus Kamala versus Joe versus Michelle Obama, who there's buzz about, I still think Trump wins.